Morning, happy Tuesday. It's Brian Mudd. This is my cheat sheet for Tuesday, October 18th. The records just continue to be even more impressive for Apple and the iPhone 4S. The latest record, the all-time sales record for weekend sales of an electronic device. The previous record had been 1.7 million, and yes, it had been the iPhone 4 launch. This time around, 4 million. I mean, if you're going to do it big. They more than doubled the all-time sales record, and there's no reason to think that the records as we continue to go through the end of the year, especially with this launch being even closer to the holiday shopping period than we have seen with previous iPhone 4 launches, I think you're going to see every record ever created for total sales on an electronic device, number of apps downloaded. It's all going to fall this year. And remember what we've been talking about. The good news here is that the companies that are associated with Apple are setting records too, which is good in this down economy. One of those, by the way, Twitter. Twitter, with the iOS 5, the 5th generation operating system, on Thursday, had a 300% increase in signups. And the reason is, a new partnership with Twitter and Apple on the new operating system allows you to push photos directly from your device that you take them on, your Apple device, to Twitter. And so people are signing up so they can tweet pictures from their iPhones or other Apple device instantly, and it's become quite a hit. Twitter says that they're going to be able to use the simplicity of their system through partnerships to one day usurp the number of users with Facebook and Google+. It's wishful thinking at this point, but if you're teamed with Apple, it can't hurt. BlackBerry, meanwhile, the news has not been good there for some time, has it? We talked about the outage last week and the inconveniences with it. BlackBerry did acknowledge that they screwed up, though they never actually identified exactly what went wrong with the outage last week. Nevertheless, now through December 31st, if you're a BlackBerry user affected by the outage, you have $100 in free apps that you can download. I've got complete information on the physical cheat sheet. They also have a product announcement. This might end up being pretty neat. I haven't seen it yet, but they are saying that tomorrow they are going to announce the personal assistant. I guess this is their answer to Siri that just came out on the iPhone 4S. So it'll be interesting to see if BlackBerry Research in Motion's assistant feature here is going to be near as cool as Siri. Meanwhile, let's take a look at politics. And Herman Cain. You've heard some polls cited recently that he's been pulling ahead of Mitt Romney. Well, what I always do is take a look at the running average of all the polls, because one poll can skew numbers or the sampling, whatever. The running average of all the national polls now shows something interesting. An absolute dead heat between Herman Cain and Mitt Romney. He's essentially pulled even. They're both at 23% in change in national polling. And here's something else that's significant. Rick Perry, his campaign is nearing being dead, at least considering that he had been a front-runner when he got in the race. And the reason is, while Mitt and Herman Cain are tied at 23%, you now see Rick Perry around 12%. In other words, he's fallen to what would have been previously considered the second tier of candidates. So that two-person horse race, well, the polling data shows that we have it right now. He just is not one of the horses. It's Herman and it's Mitt. The complete polling information on the physical cheat sheet as well. Amazon, they're doing something that, quote, is terrifying the traditional publishers. They're going to self-publish 122 books this fall. And what that means is they're going to pay out cash to authors that they think have good ideas. They're going to directly pay them and publish the books. Of course, Amazon sells the physical books, and they are the #1 seller of the e-reader, that being the Kindles, and also of the e-books themselves. So if Amazon can do it all, then where does that leave Simon & Schuster, among the others? So good news for you if you want to get a book published, perhaps bad news if you're any of the traditional publishing companies. The economy hasn't hit haunted houses. We have one of the biggest in the entire country. That happens to be in Orlando at Universal, the Halloween Horror Nights. And actually, it looks like we're going to set an all-time sales record this year. Over 4,000 haunted houses around the country this year. That's a record. And if attendance figures keep up, we're going to set an all-time attendance record as well. So we apparently like our paranormal, or at least our thrills these days. And meanwhile, electric car charging stations. Last week I had the story that 5 of the major automotive companies actually signed a partnership to work on electric car technology together. I mentioned that this will give the technology legs. There are less than 15,000 electric cars that have been sold in the United States. But after that partnership announcement last week, get this, Walgreens is going to begin adding electric car charging stations to certain stores, including one in Orlando as they expanded into Florida. Cracker Barrel is going to run a test program. So you go eat there and you charge your car. This is what we might see, cutting the service stations out altogether. By the way, speaking of service stations, one major one, Murphy Oil, most commonly teamed with Walmart stores, is also going to begin testing electric car charging stations. That's the cheat sheet for today. See you tomorrow.